Welcome to POSTCAST tonight as the Utah Jazz pull off the victory over the Portland Trailblazers, and they go to 26-21 on the season. David Locke along with Ron Boone, and the Jazz hold the Blazers to 77 points. Really is probably the story of the night, as the Blazers only the low for the season, the Jazz 76 against Washington. So was this one of the Jazz better defensive outings of the year?
I'm not so sure of that. I wasn't really impressed with the defense was good, but I wasn't really that impressed with the way this ball game was won. And I thought they did a great job, especially in the first half, offensively, shooting 61% from the field. But the defense was probably better in that first half than the second half.
Well, they only allowed 36 points in the first half of this game. Let's go to that second quarter. Damari Carroll, Earl Watson, Derek Favors, Ennis Cantor. Jeff Hornacek singled out Derek along with Ennis and Damari at halftime as guys who changed the game defensively. What did they do?
Well, obviously, Damari Carroll is one of those energy players. I mean, he comes up with steals, disrupts things, and it ended up with 10 points in that ball game. 8 of those come in that second quarter. But the energy that they play at, the pace that they use is entirely different than what we see with the starters in that first half. And I think the adjustment that the opponents have to make when those guys come in the ball game, they just don't do a good job at it, because the starters come in at a little slower pace. They're pounding the ball inside, but then when the second unit comes in, they're up and down the floor. They're energized and just doing a lot of things. So that is always going to be a plus, I think, for the Jazz, the way those guys come in and play.
Earl Watson ends up getting hurt in this game. Sore right knee, could not return. So with the score 78-70 and the Blazers on a 9-2 run, he turned it over to Randy Foye and Alec Burks in the backcourt because Jamal Tinsley couldn't guard Damian Lillard. Not a lot of guys have this year, but he couldn't. And the Jazz from that point on are actually outscore the Blazers 8-7 to hold on to the win. That has become something that they've had to go to. A very solid outing by Alec, and I really would say Randy deserves some credit. He is, tonight, there's no way he's getting a look. I mean, without a point guard willing to take a shot, and without Gordon Hayward on the floor, he couldn't get any airspace. His threes were 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line just to get a shot off. I thought he did a nice job playing some point and really helping his team win, as a veteran does.
Absolutely. He really does. Aside from his scoring, he does, that defensive, picks up those defensive assignments that really help the Jazz. But I think this, David, if Alec Burks, if he just gets in this frame of mind that this is the position that I think I'm going to have to play on this basketball team, and start working his butt off on being that guy, that point guard, the guy that can run this team and not make mistakes, make good decisions, he can get a lot of playing time, because the Jazz are in desperate need of that type of a player right now.
Well, teams have clearly decided what they're going to do. They're going to double team up the point guard down to Jefferson, leaving Tinsley and Watson wide open. The two of them combined to take one shot tonight. There was a prayer by Watson with 10:30 left in the fourth quarter. The Jazz then proceeded to go the next 5+ minutes without a field goal. Burks tipped one in to get the Jazz that field goal, and the offense really fell apart defensively in the fourth, but the Jazz were up by enough that they were able to control this one. Big Al defensively had a tough time out of the, but I don't know what guy can handle Lillard at 35 feet. I mean, that's just a ridiculous thing that this game in the high pick and roll. But offensively, he came through again, 21 points in this ball game, able to get it done. Randy Foye had 13 second-half points, kind of bailed the Jazz out. They fought their way through it offensively late to be able to just get enough buckets and enough stops to win it.
Yeah, double-double for Big Al. I think that now is 255 for Big Al for his career in double-doubles. And as he does so often in that fourth quarter, especially in the closing minutes of a ball game, he does come through. But the Portland Trailblazers were very concerned with the size of the Utah Jazz, from talking to a couple of people there, their radio guys there as well. And the big guys and the bigs for the Utah Jazz came through.
I thought there was some really interesting coaching stuff tonight. Jazz started to pound at the Blazers, and so Terry Stotts went to Luke Babbitt. Luke Babbitt, I don't have the final box in front of me, but he played a lot tonight, and he has not played. I now have it in front of me. Luke Babbitt played 21 minutes. That might be a season high for him. He has not been playing a lot of minutes this year for them, and it is
Babbitt's season high is 27 minutes.
But he has not been playing much. particularly as of late, and that's because they were trying to stretch the Jazz out. It eliminated Cantor from the game, which was too bad. Cantor had checked out immediately, never came back. But Tyrone goes to Millsap, and Millsap just annihilated Babbitt for a period of time, which allowed the Jazz to kind of get the edge. When someone goes small on you, this team's got to be able to go big and win that matchup, and that was really the key there.
That was twofold, though. I thought they were looking for Babbitt to knock down some threes there as well. As I mentioned, I thought that's where they were going to come back in this basketball game. All of a sudden, they were going to start to bombard the Jazz with threes. They ended up taking 20. Babbitt ended up taking 4, but he was 2 for 4, during that time. But we just might see a different basketball team from the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow night, because at home, like the Jazz, they're very, very good.
16-8.
And 16-8, and they shoot a ton of three-point shots at home.
They don't make them, though. They're 27th in the league in three-point shooting in the month of January. They're just third in attempts.
Yeah.
On behalf of Ron, I'm David. We'll be with you in Portland. I'll be flying solo. Kevin Pelton, actually, the ESPN insider, will be with me for portions of the broadcast tomorrow, so make sure you join us for that. The Jazz, interestingly enough, for all their late-game struggles, now go to, I believe, 18-3 or 19-3 in games which they've led by 10 at one point or another. They also go to 26-21. The Jazz were not 5 games over 500 last year at any point other than the win against Phoenix in the second to last game of the season at 35-30. And they have a chance to go to 6 games over 500, which would equal the high of last season with a win tomorrow. Jazz win it tonight, 186-77 over the Blazers. Have a good night. Be safe.